G'day Gooners, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. As you can see, George is not with me today. Unfortunately, he is ill, but he should be okay for the next podcast. So, wishing him a speedy recovery. But yeah, we're here to talk about the Wigan Athletic game in the FA Cup. Obviously, 4-0 on the day, brilliant result, and it was a bit of an easy result in the end. And it was one of those ones I actually got a spot on. George predicted a 3-0, but I think we all saw it coming. But when it's the FA Cup, you don't always want to be too cocky or too confident. I mean, we saw what happened when Crystal Palace got knocked out by Macclesfield. Unfortunately, they were also knocked out by Brentford today. Wanted to see their story go on a bit longer, but yeah, 4-0 for us on the day. And yeah, it was very interesting right off the bat because we saw some new positions for players. Yeah, Saka obviously came into the midfield after Calafiori was injured in the warm-up. Originally, we were supposed to see Lewis Skelly in the midfield, Calafiori at left back, Lewis Skelly in the left eight position, I presume. And when I saw that, I was super excited. Also half asleep as well because it was a 3:30 a.m. kickoff, and I was still jet lagged from overseas, so it was a bit of a mess. But we got it done in the end. But yeah, I was super keen to see that. And then the lineups, they started walking out of the tunnel, and I see Saka wearing the armband. I'm like, what's going on here? And then when they showed the lineup on the TV, I saw Saka was starting at left back. But then obviously once we got into the game, that didn't happen, and Lewis Skelly went back to left back, and Saka we saw in the midfield, which was super interesting. And I mean, I'm all here for it, to be honest. There's been a few games this season where right near the end of the game, he's picking up more central areas, and I always think he looks super dangerous. I mean, if you think of it this way, Saka is the most dangerous when he cuts in and takes the shot. When he's playing in the midfield, he doesn't even need to cut in. He's already in that position. So he can be very effective there. And I think we saw it. Look, it is lesser opposition, no offense to Wigan Athletic, but Saka's a quality player. And if that's his first time playing that position, I think he has played it a very long time ago in the lockdown era, but first time in a long time playing that position. So it was good to see. And we know he's a versatile player. Saka obviously came through the academy for us for ages. Played a bunch of positions. Obviously, when he first started, he was playing left back, left wing. Seen him off the right as well. Could probably do a job at right back, and he's playing the midfield today. So, a quality player, and yeah, not too surprised to see him do well there. But yeah, into the actual game now. The first goal came super quickly. It was in the 11th minute. Eze with a beautiful ball, beautiful through ball. Some of my favorite type of through balls. Those ones just thread the needle through to Madueke. Finishes perfect. That whole sequence was just perfect, wasn't it? Love to see Eze just try those balls more. I think that's the thing with Eze recently. He's looked a bit shy to express himself and do those risky passes. And we saw two of them today, the left foot pass to Martinelli where he finished it as well. But that ball to Madueke, look, you're not going to get that space in the Premier League, but there's going to be times where it can open up and you need that killer ball just to finish games. I feel like that's what we've been lacking recently in the Premier League. He doesn't seem to show that. So I'm really hoping that can translate into the Wolves game and the Spurs game coming up as well. I want to see him get another hat-trick, hopefully, and also some assists as well. So excited for that. But yeah, I think I think people don't always associate him with that midfield position. And what I mean by that is obviously he plays in the midfield, but he's more of the final action player. I heard someone on TikTok, Ollie Thomas, I believe, massive football TikTok, but he's a big Crystal Palace fan, and he was saying that when he came to Arsenal, he knew that this is kind of going to happen because Eze is a final action player, and what that means is he's not the one that's setting up the goals. He's the one that's scoring and taking those shots or volleying and doing those risky things. Like, yes, he is good in those positions passing, but he is the one that has that magic, a bit of flair to him at the end. So yeah, I'm hoping that this game gives him confidence, to try some more of those passes. And if it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. But me personally, I would not be mad at Eze or call it a bad performance if he does a few passes that don't always make it. You need some risk, and the reward is definitely worth it if he gets it. So yeah. Obviously, the second goal came just 8 minutes later. This is when we started to really go on a sort of rampage. But Eze with another assist, I mentioned it before, through to Martinelli. And Martinelli just seems to score goals so easily when it's a cup competition or the Champions League, doesn't he? As soon as it's the Premier League, he just forgets how to finish. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm being too harsh, but yeah, that I would way prefer him to score the goal at Brentford than score the one against Wigan. But yeah, it was a great finish, the left foot as well. Martinelli is always good in those positions, usually, especially in the cups. But when he's just running with pace, bang in the bottom right, no one was going to catch that. But yeah, great finish off his weak foot as well. We then go and score another goal, and this is probably my favorite build up to the goal in terms of the Saka thing I was talking about before, because this is when we really got to see Saka shine in that midfield position. Madueke picks up the ball with the right, kind of passes it to himself along the wing, just along the line, and then nice little ball through to Saka. That little link up on the right hand side as well. That's the thing I like about Saka in that in midfield position. He can interchange with Madueke and just play off the right anywhere, and then play through the middle. It was just class, wasn't it? And then we saw Saka ping that low ball through, bobbles around a bit, and then I forget who the player was on Wigan, but yeah, came off his head, and then goalkeeper got a touch on it, but own goal in the end. But we take it, set up the goal really nicely, deserve it. And then we scored the fourth goal pretty much straight after. And at this stage, I thought, all right, let's do a Man City and win 10-0. Like, love to see it. Obviously, it wasn't to be, but job was done, wasn't it? And Jesus. But should I just say, actually, the assist from Norgaard was incredible. Over the top, Jesus timing the run very nicely. The right back kept him onside. But Norgaard, we need to talk about Norgaard because he is super underrated, and I don't understand why Arteta doesn't use him in bigger games. I think this game today should be the reason why Arteta plays him in the big games, to be honest, because he's no scrub. Like, he was the captain at Brentford. Brentford in previous seasons, as of recent, have been a very, very decent Premier League side. I mean, they just drew against us. They are a great side. So credit to Norgaard. I think he deserves to play more games. And that ball he threw to Jesus today was just incredible. I thought he held the base of the midfield really well as well, considering he had two very attacking players in front of him in Eze and Saka. I know there wasn't much to do. It was against Wigan, but we've seen glimpses of Norgaard. Every time he comes into these games, he just does his job, very effective. And even when he was playing right back as well, very effective as well. Oh, sorry, centre back. Yeah, I think he deserves to play more games, to be honest. And I think that's a problem that we've had in previous seasons where we overplay players, and I think Zubimendi was starting to get to that stage. But it's good that he got a rest today. He did come on in the second half, but yeah, if I fully trust Norgaard to play in the Premier League games, so yeah, hopefully we get to see more of that and give Zubimendi some rest as well because yeah, he's played a lot of minutes this season, and yeah, I don't want to risk any injuries with Zubimendi or Declan Rice as well because that could be very long for us because we don't have a lot of midfield options. If we lost Declan Rice or Zubimendi, fingers crossed that doesn't happen, touch wood, we really only have Norgaard, and then that's basically it for the six options. So, yeah, maybe we need to buy someone in the summer. But that's the thing with Norgaard as well. It was never his. He was playing that Jorginho role, the third sort of six, can play in that eight as well if needed role. And I think when people complain about him as a signing, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's like complaining about, I don't know, a third choice goalkeeper signing. Like, they're not really gonna, like, they're not gonna start. Like, just chill. Obviously, maybe that's not the best comparison, but yeah, Norgaard, brilliant. And then obviously we went into halftime, 4-0 up, and then the second half was honestly a little bit disappointing. No goals. Obviously, we finished 4-0, so 0-0 in the second half. But yeah, the job was already done. We kind of just cruised through in the end. But yeah, we saw some great moments as well. Marley Salmon coming on in the 61st minute. It's always good to see the youngsters play. I thought he did quite well as well. And I think he's a player where I think maybe a loan spell might benefit him because I think he could be ready for, we've seen Wanyeri already do pretty well out on loan. So yeah, I want to see that development continue further. And I do think he has a place in this team because Timber plays a lot of games. White plays a lot of games as well. He can come into these cup games and just give them both a rest. I think that would be great. Not much happened in the second half, as I said before. 87th minute, though, we got to see Tommy Setford get his first game of the season for Arsenal, his second game, FA Cup debut, I believe. He played in the EFL Cup last year for us. But I love to see this guy playing a game because I don't know if it's just me, but every single time the camera pans to the bench in a Premier League game, Champions League game, this Tommy guy is always just vibing and like just celebrating so passionately. And he's the third choice goalkeeper, and he's so young as well. He seems so confident in this group. I know, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but he always seems like he's bringing a good morale to the team. So that's always, I think that's a very important role for a third choice goalkeeper. We've seen it with Scott Carson for many years for Man City. What was he like? 38 years old, never playing, was basically a coach. Obviously, very different age, but if you're not going to play, you got to contribute to the group in some way. And if you can contribute through vibes and morale, I'm all here for it. So yeah, hopefully we get to see more of him. I think he's definitely one for the future. He already seems very confident around the senior squad. So that's great to see. Maybe a loan spell could benefit him as well, because I was looking at his Wikipedia before. He's only played like 3 games this season, like 2 in the under 21 Premier League, I believe, or the Cup, and then 1 in the FA Cup. And I just think that's the problem with goalkeepers, especially young goalkeepers. They just don't play enough games. If you want a player to get better, yes, the training with the first team is very beneficial, but it's in the game is when that's going to be really where you shine. So I would love to see him maybe get more minutes. But in saying that, though, we've got Kepa, we've got Rayo. He's not really going to play. And again, third choice goalkeeper. So yeah, but he's definitely one for the future. So we'll look out for that. Maybe could be a second choice in a couple of years' time. So anyway, I'm all here for it. But yeah, 4-0 in the end. Oh yeah, sorry, just with the Setford thing as well. That means everyone in our senior squad has an appearance for this season, which is just a very satisfying thing. I'd hate to get to the end of the season and Tommy Setford's the only one that doesn't even, making a single appearance. So I'm lucky they just got that one, just to fill it out. I think Brazil did that in the World Cup 2022. They used all of their players, which is just good to see. Like it just does make the group closer. So yeah, another win for Arsenal, I guess. What a trophy. Yeah. Yeah, on to the next round of the FA Cup. We've got Mansfield Town. Man, what am I even saying? Mansfield Town away. Obviously, I'm going to be expecting a win. What division are they in? I think they're in the third division, right? Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, they're in the third division, 13th in the Football League One. So, yeah, obviously expecting a win for that. I think that's on the 8th of March. So, it's a pretty quick turnaround. But yeah, look, in the FA Cup, you can never, ever write off any team. So, we can't go into that game cocky. Obviously, I probably still would rotate for that. But look, I'm expecting a win. And I'm so glad we've drawn Mansfield as well, because Man City have got Newcastle, which that's super tough. And I think Chelsea got Wrexham and Liverpool got Wolves. I know Wolves aren't great, but I mean, they're in the Premier League, which is better than League One. So yeah, we take that draw. I think we've got really, really good with the draw. Obviously, last year we had Man United in our first round, which is just super unlucky out of all the teams we could have drawn. So yeah, I think I think the FA Cup is about luck as well, about who you get. So we take that. Yeah, on to the rest of the week though. We have Wolves on the Thursday game at a 7 a.m. kickoff, so that's pretty handy. Wolves obviously still last in the Premier League. They're looking to beat that Derby County record. I think they need 2 more points, but this is not the game to get it. So Wolves, just hang on a bit. You can get your points later. But yeah, they're sat on 9 points. I think they've got 2 draws in their last 5. They haven't won a game for so long. But yeah, we can't. But the thing is, we can't sleep on this game though. Like when Wolves came to the Emirates, they did really well to just sit and frustrate us, and we got lucky in that game. To be honest, we won 2-1 at the death. Like, and this time it's away. So if we play like that again at the what's the stadium? Sorry, I think it's the Molineux. We will lose this game if we go into it not being a bit too cocky or thinking or rotating too much, in my opinion. We need to go full strength. I've got a few little changes though. But yeah, Wolves, it's weird to say, but Wolves aren't even that bad. I think that just shows the quality of the Premier League as a whole, where the team that's last with 9 points can still cause problems. I mean, this is why the Premier League, in my opinion, is the best league in the world. So yeah, but we can't sleep on them. I think we need to go into this game full strength. My lineup for this game will be David Raya in goal, Ben White at right back. I know he played against Wigan, but I just don't think Timber was good enough against Brentford. And I think White needs to come in. I think he's a solid player when he's been called upon. And I think he elevates our attack more than Timber. He's better in the attacking positions than Timber. I love his positioning. I love those runs that he makes on the outside. He was doing it against Wigan as well, but Madueke didn't really seem to click between those two. But I want to see Saka and him play. That's spoiled my right wing position, but yeah, Saka there. But yeah, that's one of the few changes. And then right centre back, I'm going to go for Saliba, and then Gabriel, obviously left centre back. At left back, I'm going to bring in Hincapié. I would love to see Calafiori come back, but obviously we don't know if he's going to come back. I mean, it's 2 days from now when the game's on. So yeah, I don't think I think he'll rest and maybe look to return for the Spurs game. So Hincapié can do the job at left back. In the six, I'm going to go for Zubimendi. I think he's been so good recently. And yeah, he's had a bit of a rest as well. So yeah, he plays for me. In the eight, obviously, do I even need to say his name? Declan Rice. Just he is just so good. And he was rested as well. So fully fresh Declan Rice. And then in the 10, I'm going to go for Eze. I think Odegaard will be injured, but hypothetically speaking, even if Odegaard was fit, I'm still going to pick Eze just based off the Wigan game. I think, look, I know it's Wigan, but it's confidence is confidence. We've said it before in this podcast, but Eze is a confidence player. That game against Wigan, the 2 assists, him just playing well, doing a lot of passes, little tiki-taka, will just give him so much confidence for this game. And I want to see him in the 10. I want to see him do those risky passes as well. So hopefully he can do that. We get some goals and win this game, get the 3 points. Off the left, I'm going to go for Leandro Trossard. Again, another player that didn't play too much against Wigan. I think he came on late in middle of the second half. So yeah, should be good to go. Off the right, Saka, as I mentioned before. And then up front, I'm going to go Victor Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres has been doing really well the last few games. He's kind of coming into it a little bit. Look, I don't think he is still up to the standards that we expected or that we want, but he's scoring goals. And I think that's the most important thing as a striker. And if you can occupy spaces, which he was doing at the start of the season and not score, and scoring instead of... Let me restart that. At the start of the season, he wasn't scoring many goals, but he's occupying space, hustling hard, and opening up space for other people. Now he's still doing that, and he's getting the goals as well. So he's improving a lot. So yeah, I want to see that as our lineup. But just a thing I need to say as well. This game is super underrated in its importance. The reason why is because Crystal Palace was supposed to play against Man City, and because Crystal Palace have a European fixture, their Premier League game has now been delayed till, I don't know, later in the season, maybe even late April. So we get an extra game before anyone else does in the Premier League. So we'd have played one extra game than everyone, or at least until Man City play that game, for almost the rest of the season. So that's an extra 3-point buff that we could get. I think that's so important to get that, just to sit a little bit extra at the top, and it's an extra game out of the way as well. So we need to maximize on this opportunity, capitalize on it, and get the 3 points. It's so important. But yeah, that's the preview. I think I want to shout out a Wolves player. This is the first time I've done this on the podcast, but I think Mane, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name, for Wolves is an exceptional talent. I think we should be looking at. I think he might get a move in the summer. Don't know if whoever consider Arsenal or if we consider him, but yeah, I just need to give a shout out to him because he's a great player, to be honest, and I think he'll do great things. But yeah, I'm expecting a win. I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win, and I also want to say as well, the last game I said it was gonna be 4-0. I got it spot on, so I'm hoping this one can be spot on as well. But yeah, I think that's all we really got time for today. Bit of a shorter one. We'll come back after the Wolves game because we've got huge things to talk about. Hopefully a win that we're going to be talking about, but then the Tottenham Hotspur preview, which I'm so excited for. North London Derby is always one of the best dates in the calendar. So yeah, I believe that's on the Monday at 3:30 a.m. So a bit of a grim time, but yeah, we're going to get through it. And look, when it's a North London Derby, you don't feel any tiredness. You're up for it. I'll be ready. I'm going to do the vlogs, all the content, all that stuff. So looking forward to it. Definitely. Hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on socials. We're going to start doing a new series. George is going to start doing a new series after each game. He's going to be doing the 5 things that we learned thing, as those videos always seem to be very interesting whenever I watch them on TikTok. So we're going to get George's perspective on that, Mr. Ball knowledge. Yeah, hope you have a good day, Gooners. And also, happy Chinese New Year.